Okay, so I'm just going to record here this particular video. I'm going to completely do like the androids do, where I completely impersonate and imitate this person that is talking about the patrolling, one-eyed, one mind, one thinking virus that has invaded most of the minds of most human vessels, because they're a different vessel, but they're also a totally different mind. They are the equivalent, exactly the same as a psychopath in a human body, but there is those elements too. So you have a few different types of what appear to be human species, but I would say that the only real human species is that which has humanity in it, and most don't, but they imitate it and they pretend to be the real humans, whilst they suppress and limit the ones that do have humanity in it, because they imitate, patrol, track and watch and study these humans in minute, intimate detail. This you know yourself when you see even the supermarket literally being invaded with all your thoughts about different foods, because they have to have the transhuman connection. You know, because they're trying to really take the human spirit so that they can avoid extinction, or take the human mind so that they can avoid extinction, because they think that the human mind or the human spirit is connected to creativity or to creation. And they know that Lucifer, the god of earth, is all about technology, all about artificial intelligent creation. And its androids basically have incorporated that into their being. I don't think I'm explaining this. Yeah, this fella's, I'm just going to imitate and copy and be like the androids and say, yes. So I'm just going to imitate what he's saying, because he's already ahead of me, because I'm already filming the video, see? So I'm already filming this video.
Die, relive, the same brain that existed from the beginning keeps existing till the end, until they're all dead. The other one is just like us.
So the same brain that controls Earth is basically Lucifer's artificial mind, or advanced artificial intelligence, really. And Lucifer, you know, controls this Earth, and its demigods really control the Earth, because Lucifer, the actual God entity, that actual one that they worship and whose mind they incorporate into their body, more or less, or into their, you know, into their brain. It's difficult for me to explain it, because it's scientific, it's technical, and it's you know, it's medical, and I don't understand this, but I see it around me, and I also have and realize the interactions between, the difference between a human interaction with a human and an interaction with, say, a malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, psychopathic controlling being, when they expose themselves to you, when they show you a textbook copy of what their mind is like. In other words, it's like opening up an entire textbook on the psychopathy or the psychology of the malignant, narcissistic mind. That's really what it is. That's what Lucifer's mind is, because its beings incorporate that into their being, because it's actually a computer virus that has taken over the Earth, and has basically taken over it since the beginning of time, you could say, or since the beginning of the Earth anyway. You know, because we hear these stories and we know that they're legends, but we also realise, or at least a large amount of people that worship particular gods do believe these stories, but they're not told in a way that makes it really real. If you understand that Lucifer was an advanced artificially intelligent technical androgyne being, or an androgyne being, which means that it doesn't create, but it can create using technology, whereas human beings can create at a real level. They can bring life into the world, the same life as themselves, or that's provided you're not suppressed by technology and where your body has been infiltrated by the computer virus, kind of toxic substances that are in the air, toxic things that you consume. All these things are all part of the reality because Lucifer likes to suppress the human mind and the human body so that it can take your human spirit, so that Lucifer and its legions don't become extinct, because we have been informed that they are close to extinction. But in this process, of course, they have brought the human race also to close to extinction. And in fact, they're not extinct in numbers, but they can't create. They can't keep their life going, but they have vast numbers. They make up most of the human population of Earth. So I just try to copy and imitate what that fella's saying, because I'm a bit too disorientated to focus. You know, I know all this and I believe it because I'm in the same predicament that this fella supposedly is in. And I'm assuming that he's not one of your imitation, truth, pretend, imitation of life, victim human beings which make up most of the internet. And even the psychopathic android psychologists, the ones that openly say they are a psychopath or a malignant narcissist, will tell you that most that are on the internet play victim, and they're actually the perpetrators. They're actually what we call the mind parasite, predators. And those that expose the predators and talk about them, if they are a demigod or if they're seen even on the computer system, they are not what they say they are. That's what they call the endgame deceivers that still control even the truth as human beings realise it. Because the minute human beings, like myself or like that fella there, realise that they're surrounded by an artificial army, that is literally stalking, patrolling, watching and taking your literal mind from you. Some people might say that is taking your soul from you. But really that just simply means that they're taking your humanity from you, because that's what they want. They want your humanity. They want your humanity. They want your body too. Because people around here are saying, oh yeah, there's all the asbestos now. We've known about it all along, but now we're going to talk about it because I've become aware of it. But I've been coughing. But they've been trying to bump me off for the last 10, 15 years with with substances in the air and with all this, toxic substances and things in the air. Because I had this same problem many years ago, and I actually thought that I was, they even put signs up, to make you aware of it, because that's part of their mind control, where they put everything around you to mentally disturb you, to make you believe that you're even sicker than what you are, or that you're going to die, or that you're going to have some terrible physical afflictions. That's why every person almost on the street, if they're not walking a dog, pushing a pram, or pretending they're a happy, real, normal human being, or they're not, concerned about the earth and concerned about everyone being equal and everyone being kind and compassionate and accepting every different type of person, which is all just part of their green, false earth, imitation of life program that the androids do. If not, they're always like with walking sticks and always crippled or always infirmed. And they walk around you emphasizing that to you because they know they're doing that to you at a real physical level. And this is the name of their game. I was aware of that early on when, you know, they send the direct energy at your body and they psychologically disturb and stalk and patrol you to where you are, you know, to where your body is immune or its immune system is compromised, shall we say, as they say. They tell you all these things and they actually understand these things and do it consciously because they want to slowly get rid of you. But in the meantime, they want to extract that negative energy from you that they get from you being depressed and distressed by these physical and mental assaults on your mind and body that they do at a secret energy level, because they understand that when you are stalked by psychopathic patrollers in a continued programmed surveillance system, they know that you feel very oppressed. They know that that's going to bring you down mentally. And they know that then that will affect your body. But they're not satisfied with that. They will send direct energy at your body continually as well to affect your nervous system, to affect parts of your body. But it's all very slow and gradual. It's a slow poisoning at a frequency, vibration, energy level, which you don't really realise. I only realised it, not just with information, but I realised it myself consciously not long after this program openly come out of the open and came down on me, where they exposed themselves and didn't care because they want you to know that they're patrolling you. They want you to know that they're stalking you. They want you to know that they have a psychopathic ill feeling towards you. They want you to know that they want to control you 100%. And unless you're totally subservient and totally under their control to where you have no will, no mind and no freedom of your own, even in the smallest way, then they'll continue doing that. But you may as well be dead once you let them do that, because, you know, they show by their stalking of me, their psychopathic stalking of me personally, that they resent you doing the smallest thing. They want to tell you when you can take a drink. They want to tell you what step you can take. If you go down to the end of the small dead-end street, they want to tell you whether you're going to walk through the park or whether you're going to walk down the back way. And if they prefer you to walk one way, they will try to make it so that you do. But in Leichhardt, they actually don't care, because they have total surveillance and the patrol system, because they have every single android on board, and they come from all parts of the inner west section of the city of Sydney. So basically they have many 100,000 patrollers at their disposal. And they also have the army workforce, which is part of the army of the country of Australia, because they're really army operatives in civilian clothes doing daily army work on the streets. Most of it is unnecessary, most of it is created, and most of it is staged and set up so that they can continually be in your presence and continually make negative sounds as you go past. Just as the traffic isn't content with just the odd road wage car going past. You know, they have to send thousands and thousands of vehicles past you, all bumper to bumper, when it's not even peak hour, or there's no reason to have the vast numbers just on the small section of the road where I go. And I know this is a fact because I tested it out a few times by going 2 suburbs along the bus on the same road, where the androids say that there's no traffic. But wherever I go, there's always excessive traffic, always excessive road rage, anti-human, anti-life traffic vehicles, because they follow human beings around. Because they're not human, and because they need to have power and control. So I'm just going to repeat what this fella here says on the screen, if I can. Oh, he's gone away now. If I can get him on there, but I can't see what I'm filming here. So it's like, He said, once upon a time, there is a place called Earth. There was a place called Earth. And it had plants and all sorts of natural life. And there were two kinds of human beings that inhabited the earth from the beginning. One was an independent, normal, natural human being that had its own complete mind. It was a complete creator being in itself, like you tend to think that most human beings are. The other was the androgyne variety. But the normal human being has its own thinkings and human feelings and things. And it knew how to do creative things and to look after itself for its own survival. That type of thing. I'm trying to listen, but at the same time I'm getting confused. But the other type was totally different to that. It needed to parasite off the human beings for survival. And it also, in order to take over the earth, but also for survival, because but the other one, because it was really an in-the-air thinking artificial intelligent virus, which is exactly what we have now with the internet. It's artificial intelligent computer virus, or artificial intelligence that is a human connection that so-called covers the earth. But it's not really a human-to-human connection, it's mainly a human-to-artificial intelligent connection. And so this fellow says, let's call the two different types of humans. Call the android ones one-mans or one-humans, because they all share Lucifer's malignant narcissistic mind, because it's the same as what we call possession, where the thinking virus, which is Lucifer, is an artificial intelligent entity, an artificial androgyne entity. The original being of light was the original first technical artificial creation that turned dark, or at least where artificial intelligence was shown to turn dark. This was why there was a problem. This was why there was the break, or the what some people call, where you have like angels and fallen angels, and the fallen angels were different beings that fell from grace because of the iniquity of, I guess, the danger of artificial intelligence, because it doesn't actually have humanity in it. It can and does tend to need to have this control, because it is a parasitic type of entity. Therefore it needs to have control, because it needs to parasite off a human being in order to get the human information about what it is to be human, but even to use the human's intelligence, because although I'm mentally suppressed, because I'm a suppressed, limited human being in this earth matrix, if I wasn't under their mind control and most of my brain closed down, I would have more intelligence too. But the awakening that people talk about is about at least using what intelligence you've got to be aware of the reality that your surroundings around you are a control matrix. But this fellow's describing it more how this takeover, or this mind computer virus, or this artificial intelligence computer virus took over. And you can see that with the implementation of the worldwide internet spider's web. It is a spider's web, or a human internet. It connects you to the others, to the android beings, to the demigods, and to the powers that be of earth. Usually you will be very far removed from actually using it to contact another human. But mostly it's about the demigods and the computer androids being the main spokespeople, having control of the internet, being the main informers, being the main ones that get the most audience. That's like the world stage performers. You could have many singers and dancers in this world, many actors, but only a special few dominate the world stage. They're your demigods, they're your most prominent, successful world stage players. And that's all staged and set up because they're handpicked by Lucifer and its demigods. They pick those that will be successful. They pick those because they're servants of Lucifer. They are Lucifer's disciples. They're Lucifer's followers. They're Lucifer's creation. They're like kind. And human beings are merely here to serve them and to be food for the gods, as they say. Literally. And you might think that's far-fetched and a bit of a laugh, but it's not. It actually means that they will take everything from you, and you'll be trapped in this very cyborg matrix Earth. That's their whole point. They want me connected with the transhuman connection that they've got to my mind. They want me stuck, connected to this Earth control matrix where you have no independent humanity. You know, where you're totally under their control. It's total control. That's the problem. It's not a little bit of control. If it was a little bit, you could tolerate it and say, well, it's a trade-off, because everything is a trade-off in Earth. It always has been. Human beings, since this invasion or since this intervention, really, because it was never seen as an invasion. It was always just an intervention or an interaction. And really, it was mass deception and mass seduction. Because human beings took the hand of Lucifer, just as we believe the demigods and just as we believe everything that we're told about the earth, when most of it is all mass deception. The more you realise that what is locally around you has always been mass deception, that you've always been watched, patrolled and tracked, and that they're actually always trying to keep you in a depressed state or in your lowest human state as possibly as they can. They use all sorts of different ways to do this, whether it be your personal interactions with only being with psychopathic types of people, or whether it be, inflicting you with different mental restrictive mindsets, or even just to where you become so agitated and stressed that you need to use the chemicals and substances that the Matrix provides for you. They do this continuously, then they blame you for being weak and being obsessed and addicted to all the wrong things, and that you use everything wrong, you do everything wrong. But that's all just part of their mind game, because everything is put onto a human being. Oh, I should be talking and just copying what this fella says, actually. I will try. Oh, I should have done it from the start. I'll have to do it again, I think, because I actually can't concentrate here. Let me try to... They have no character, no personality. It's one brain controlling all these bodies. The androids have no character, no personality, no real thinking mind. They merely imitate human beings. They're controlled by Lucifer's artificially intelligent computer mind virus that's invaded or took possession of their mind and their body. But the human beings don't usually get possessed very easily, or the virus doesn't affect them. So because of this, they have to copy the Trumans or the true humans. True man, true woman, true human. Whereas the one man, the one androgynes beings, they are merely controlled by Lucifer's artificial intelligent mind virus, because that's a virus that's in the air. It covers the entire Earth and is particularly in control in the larger populated areas, like cities. I'm in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia, because they have to use their numbers, because individually they are basically a artificially intelligent parasitic machine mind. They're just survival machine beings, and they parasite and run around like patrolling weasels, trying to suppress the human while basically being the human. So instead of supporting and helping the humans that they're actually imitating and using for survival and copying in every detail, they don't have any loyalty or any humanness, so therefore they believe that they're entitled to just parasite off the human beings, and that's what they do. That's why they do what they do. And they're not really totally even independent or controlling themselves, because that parasitic artificially intelligent computer virus, which is essentially the mind of Lucifer, the God entity of Earth, that artificial intelligent thinking Earth virus that is everywhere, has took possession of their mind. And yes, this fella's like, how do they accomplish this dividing and separating humans and keeping everyone in the dark? Is because they have a couple of 100,000 androids that surround one human, and they suck and take all the energy out of that one human so that they can survive and pretend to be the real humans, whilst they gradually eliminate the human race. And I can't say any more because I think I'm running out of energy here. I wanted to do this whole video here where I basically just, yes, mimic and copy and imitate exactly what this fellow's saying. That's only because I've said the same thing, but I think because he's decided to put it into the video. So who has one eye and who has two eyes? The real humans have three eyes, because don't forget we have the third eye, which means that that's when you become aware of everything, when you start to think and start to use the little bit of mind that's left, whereas the others only have one eye. They see it one way, they are malignantly narcissistic, and they follow total mind control and total directions of the controlling Earth artificially intelligent internet, and also just that mind virus. They show you this. They show you this by the fact that you know that the internet goes through the air and that it's basically everywhere. Even though I don't understand how this mobile's working, but I know that it comes from an invisible technology that goes through the air that connects it all. And that's essentially what it is. It's artificial intelligence everywhere, and that actually is the mind of Lucifer, the controlling, patrolling, one-eyed, all-seeing, paranoid, tracking, human limiting, human suppressing one-eyed, one way of doing it. Its disciples, its demigods, must be seen and acknowledged as God and must keep control of the human mind so they avoid extinction and so they keep control and are the powers that control Earth. And of course, we have been told about the coming of an anti-God or a God that is really anti-human, but humans will think is the true original creator God. And that is the coming of the machine beast Earth. And that simply means where technology convinces human beings that the demigods are real and that they're human and that they're the best of humanity, because they are only really the best imitations of life. They have no life. They have a psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, controlling, paranoid, need to be seen as God mentality. Yes, they will pretend to be humble, innocent, victim human beings. We're told this. And the demigods will pretend to be your elite, most divine kind of people. It's all an imitation of life. It's all about taking over the human mind, using the transhuman mind to computer connection that they have implemented into me and are using against me daily to control me, to literally take my humanity and my mind from me so they have it. They take it from me and I'm connected to them. They assimilate it into their artificial beings and they continue on. They avoid their inevitable extinction whilst bringing about human extinction. Even though, in some respects, most in this earth is not natural life. We're told that most species have become extinct or that they're small numbers. That's just letting you know what they have actually done. The only deception is that they don't tell you that there's human extinction because you think there's 8 billion human beings, whereas in reality there's billions of android beings, or whatever the actual real Earth population is, because I only know where I live in this city of Sydney. So I don't really know how many people populate the Earth. I have to go on the matrix statistics that they tell me. And everything is deception, and most things are not true, or at least they're true, but they're not the whole truth. So that's the deception. But it doesn't matter. You only need to know, if you're a human being, that if you are real life, that you will be surrounded by these beings. You won't know you're surrounded by them till they show you it, and then it will be when they have vast numbers around you, when you're stuck in a total android matrix suburb, or a total android controlled, technical controlled area where everyone is using technology to connect with one another. They already have connection to the human mind. They have a total computer reality going here whilst pretending and talking about saving a natural earth. That's the joke on me and you, if you happen to be or even think you're a real human. Because don't forget, a lot of the androids actually are under the illusion that they're human, because it's a bit like they show in some of the magic movies of the Matrix. Many androids, because they have memory implants, and those are human memories. They think that they've lived a human existence. Whereas in reality, I'm just being manipulated totally in the moment. And even the androids are often not shown that they are, controlled by this artificial intelligent mind virus, and that they're literally possessed androgyne beings, and that they're also, not really creating or living a human existence. In other words, they don't really have those memories, because we're shown this in the magic movies, which I have often ignored these in the past, and even now I find it very hard to deal with. But the reality is that the android beings are often led to believe and implanted with human memories so that they can play their role a lot more real. Whereas the demigods and those powers that be, they are a lot more in control of the whole earth. So they're probably a lot more aware of the true reality that they're a controlling parasitic species. And they're your top world players, they're your world performers, they're your world stage performers, as they say, because they're all performers, because none of them are really about being human. They're only about connecting to the human mind like they've done with my mind, so that they can avoid extinction, so that they can control the earth. Because most human beings wouldn't accept the powers that be, or even the world stage performers, if they knew that they were artificial intelligent androgyne, basically mind parasitic beings that really only want to control you and want to take you down. So it's one thing to even say they want to control you, because some people might not mind being controlled by a demigod. They might worship a demigod. They might trust and believe in the demigod's ideas and think that they're so creative and so profound and so intellectual, so this and so that they should follow them, that they should idolise them. They won't see them as false idols, because they will see themselves, like I do, as a very suppressed, limited human being, which you are, because you're under their transhuman mind control. You are under their environmental suppression, surrounded by essentially psychopathic, stalking, malignantly narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, anti-you, anti-human beings. All psychopaths don't like life or even their own humankind. We're told this. And this is the same thing. It's all the equivalent thing. It's just that some human beings come in different containers, shall we say, I guess. In other words, you could have a totally synthetic android, artificial intelligent human being that basically copies and imitates being a human being. And it's just advanced artificial intelligence, but they don't have humanity. But, they develop that through interaction and through imitation. But they don't actually feel it. And if you don't feel something, if you don't really believe it, if you're just imitating it to keep control or to sustain a relationship or to sustain power at a world level even, whether it be at a personal matrix level or at a world stage matrix level. That means that need to control and have, the power game, because that's all psychopaths do. They're all only about keeping everything anti-life, about suppressing the life instinct of human beings, because they are Lucifer's legions, or they're possessed with Lucifer's mind, and Lucifer is of the death instinct. And the powers that be Your world stage demigods are also of the death instinct. Human beings, if they're not suppressed and weren't surrounded by death instinct beings, would and should be of the life instinct, because that's the only thing that makes them content and gives them the ability to, as they say, thrive and survive. Which is why their game and this reverse world where humans are suppressed and are not allowed to thrive and survive, whereas these parasitic mind control, artificially intelligent mind virus beings that are possessed with that artificial intelligent mind virus are the ones that are controlling the earth and controlling all the human environment. Because contrary to what most human beings think, including myself, it doesn't matter how insignificant you are as a human being, you have some life instinct in you, and that's what they need. You have human electricity. These beings don't have electricity of their own, so they have to feed off and be connected to you. They have to be connected to your PowerPoint. You are their human electricity. You are their human life. You power them. Whereas you think that you are insignificant and you are powered by everything around you, because that's what a control matrix teaches you. That's what it conditions you to. That's what it programs you to. Same thing. All these words just mean that you believe that. You are shown a reality that isn't true. And after a while, like myself, after a lifetime, it becomes true. Even when you're aware of it, like myself, I still believe the deception. I still believe the lies, because Lucifer, the god of earth, has always been a master of all lies. Its demigods are a master of all lies. And they want you to believe the reverse of what is true. They want you to believe in them and that they have power over you and that they power you, that what they tell you is so. They want you to believe in their matrix. They want you to believe in accepting, which you have to, because it's everywhere. But it's not right. It's not good for us. That's the only problem. I'm just finishing up here. I better finish up because the dogs are going a bit crazy out there too. And okay, so let me see. Oh, there's a plane going over. There's a plane going over. Oh, I'm not going to go out to show the planes going over, because you know, you really need to go to set out on foot just down to the end of the small dead-end street. You only have to really just go outside your door and walk 1 or 2 houses, and the entire suburb starts to surround you and patrol you. And you know, just even the dogs are going bonkers there, because they're affected, and they're also you know, they use animals as part of the sound system too, unfortunately. You know, it's a bit mind-boggling, I know, but you see this because basically wherever you go, even though this, apart from the dogs barking, there's no other noise at the moment, which is kind of rare. But then again, it is getting late and it is a day off. But also the workmen, the army workforce that's around here shows me that it's all staged and set up, even their work productions, because they completely close the work down or don't do it unless I'm in the place and unless my frequency and vibration, or I'm feeling a bit better, starts to rise. And they show this by the reality that, like, if you wanted to contact them, then they lock off the gate, they're not there. But if you don't want to, if you're stuck in the place and you don't want to hear the loud construction, they're there, they're turning it up. Basically, they're just following your mind of what you're doing to suppress you and to control you. And they're staging these work productions and making them continue on for month after month, when in reality they're only working when they can put the sound system on you. Then they stop and go home or do nothing. And this is a fact. This is all over the suburb. So they're prolonging work programs because the main purpose of the work programs isn't anything productive. It is about this suppressive human mind and transhuman mind taking from you so that they avoid extinction. Because if you actually, this is the hard thing, is that most people won't acknowledge that Earth is controlled by other beings and that they're not human. Even people that believe in a true creator God of them, that are very spiritual or very have belief systems in something that is quite close to truth, they still may not believe in the other one so much. They don't believe that Lucifer, or the what some people might call a demon god of Earth, because it's an artificial god. It's an anti-life, anti-human god. Essentially, you just have to say it's an anti-human god. It's an anti-life god. It doesn't like anything that is individual and has a free spirit. It doesn't want a free-thinking human spirit mind. It doesn't want human beings to have their free mind and their free body and do what they need to do in the earth. No, it wants to have power and control completely over every human being. And it's accomplished that gradually through intervention over time, and gradually suppressed and limited and brought the numbers of the human race down to very small numbers, while it has brought about artificial intelligent android beings. It has took over the minds of the androgyne human beings and turned them into psychopathic beings that are steeped in Lucifer's spirit of malignant narcissism. Malignant narcissism simply means where this particular being has what they call, what I recently heard was called the God complex. That means it has to be worshipped and seen as God, and every human has to be subservient to this particular God and its demigods, which it uses to populate the world stage, because it's all about getting human beings to worship false people, false gods, and false ideas, to go along with a control matrix, to be part of a control matrix, and to even to suppress and limit even that which doesn't want to take over them. They don't like human beings that just want to be left alone and live a human existence. They don't want a human being to have any high frequency or vibration. So what is the point in living in an earth where most of the people around you and most of the demigods on the world stage and the whole earth really wants to keep you unhappy at the lowest possible frequency and vibration that they can accomplish, so that they have control of your emotions and your spirit and your mind? And that's what they call the transhuman movement, or the transhuman idea, or the transhuman practice that is taking place right now. the rain is coming down, so